Hello, everyone. I'm Tanya Rivero. Thank you for joining us. U.S. air travel is back to pre-pandemic levels heading into this holiday weekend. The TSA screened more than 2.1 million flyers at airports ahead of the weekend. That is about 58,000 more than on July 1st, 2019. But this weekend may prove to be a dangerous one for many. Extreme heat, drought, and wildfires across the western U.S. and Canada have already accounted for more than 600 deaths. And the first hurricane of the 2021 season is on its way through the Caribbean. ELSA picked up to become a Category 1 storm as it reached Barbados this morning. Hurricane season is already off to a record-setting pace with 5 named storms since it began early in May. CBS News weather producer David Parkinson joins me now with more. Hi, David. So we'll get to the hurricane in just a minute, but first, what can we expect weather-wise around the country this holiday weekend?
Well, Tanya, it is the tale of two sides of the country. Take a look at the numbers over my shoulder. The high temperature tomorrow in places like Worcester, Massachusetts, 59 degrees. In New York, you're struggling to hit 70. All of these are record low high temperatures, so that means it's never been that cold for a high on that day before. Meanwhile, out west, the heat is now spreading east, so you're seeing triple-digit temperatures in places like Bismarck, North Dakota, International Falls into the mid-90s. That is what we would normally call the icebox of America, and it's certainly not feeling like that. And even in portions of interior Washington and into Idaho, you are seeing record temperatures into the weekend. So it's a 40-degree cooling trend on the East Coast, but out west it's staying absolutely scorching.
And David, it seems like there was some surprise this morning when ELSA was unexpectedly upgraded to a hurricane. What happened and what potential damage can we expect from ELSA along the way?
Yeah, so that's a great question. The issue with ELSA is that it's moving so fast. It's moving west-northwest at 29 miles an hour. And so essentially you have the wind speed of the storm, and then you add that in a portion of the storm. So when you've got a forward progress of 30 plus the wind speed in the storm, that's how you get that wind speed right now of 85 miles an hour. What's so fascinating about this is storms that move this quickly tend to not intensify and strengthen because they just can't get their act together. And this storm has. So this is a little bit of an oddball system. It's not particularly well organized. It's not a great looking storm necessarily on satellite, but it has been overperforming every step of the way. The official forecast from the National Hurricane Center just as recently as last night kept it a tropical storm the entire time. Meanwhile, as we take a look at where it's projected to go now, a Category 1 hurricane pretty much the entire time until it makes its way to Cuba. It will do that sometime around Sunday morning, and then it makes a northward turn. The question is, where does it do that northward turn? If it makes that northward turn someplace west in Cuba, it's likely to go up the Gulf, potentially impacting either the Panhandle at the extreme end or someplace like Tampa or even Fort Myers. On the other hand, if it makes an early turn, maybe over southern Cuba, that would have more of Cuba beating it up, but that would likely bring it more in towards a Miami or Keys landfall. Lots of things that we're still a little bit unsure with this storm, even as it continues to make its way through the Caribbean, and really going to be something we have to watch, particularly with all of those rescue operations going on in South Florida. It's going to be really dangerous if there's strong winds and heavy rain for them.
Absolutely. And David, we're so early into the summer, and yet we're seeing all this extreme weather already. How is climate change impacting this weather that we're seeing?
Well, so it's an interesting combination. What we've got right now is a combination of a long-running drought. You can see it's an exceptional drought for like 93% of the West is in some form of drought. That is combined with temperatures that continue to get hotter and hotter. And so when you do those things together, you get a very combustible situation. And that's what's happening with those record high temperatures in British Columbia and then a fire that wiped out the village of Lytton basically a day or two later. Essentially, all of those things combined, you expect in a warming world for temperatures to go up about 4 to 7 degrees. You also expect more droughts in some places, but also more rain in others, and we're seeing that in the East Coast and in the Gulf Coast states as well. So all of these things have a link to climate change. Is any one of them directly attributable specifically? Perhaps not, but the overall pattern, the overall situation we are is certainly one where a warming climate, thanks to all of the extra greenhouse gases we have, is going to be causing more and more problems throughout the country, whether it's heat and fires in the west or more hurricanes that could intensify stronger because of warmer water temperatures in the Caribbean and East Coast.
David Parkinson, thank you so much.
Sure thing. Have a great weekend.